Was there ever any doubt in your mind that you would play Division I soccer?
Yes, there was. 2 months ago, I wasn't talking with Clemson at all. I was emailing them, it wasn't working. And then
And today, in our first segment of Interview 11, we have Seabrook Ping. Seabrook, give me a rundown. What's the situation?
apparently, Queen City U19 player just committed to Clemson, so I'm excited.
Queen City Mutiny is a small MLS Next club in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's also my former club. What did your recruiting timeline look like? First conversations, first couple offers. How did that look like?
Yeah, so I started really early. I got emails out. I was networking, just trying to find any good name program that I could, any information I could online, even before I was eligible to be spoken to, like per the NCAA rules. I had already sent stuff out so that by that deadline when I was able to be spoken to, I was already getting, maybe 2 or 3 responses out of the 30 that I sent. So I was already pretty ahead.
You have to start early. You have to start building connections before the coaches are technically allowed to even speak to you, because these bigger programs that have scholarship money, they want to lock down their prospects early, right? And you're currently going into your senior year, right, in high school?
Correct. All the schools that I reached out to were all D1. They weren't big name schools. They weren't all, ACC schools. They were all over the place. Also, the location wasn't a factor. I emailed schools from, like I said, all over the place, all over the country. And then I also got some interest, like after things started going from, D2, D3. And, but yeah, so it was all D1 for me because I knew it was a very attainable goal.
What qualities did they like from your game that they felt like could translate to the D1 level? Was there any like recurring patterns or anything like that?
Yeah, so it was definitely a very physical standpoint. So I'd say that was one of my biggest strengths that helped me through the whole thing, being, fast, strong, forward, aggressive. Those attributes are all something they all look for.
I've played a couple of times with Seabrook, trained with them. I think, how tall are you? Like 6'2"?
6'1".
6'1", yeah. So 6'1", tall, lean, very fast, and direct winger. Those are very translatable qualities to the D1 game. I know you like to get a lot of crosses in the box as well. Being able to take a guy down the line, get a good cross in, and be able to do it repeatedly is a recurring theme that I've noticed a lot as well. Now that we know kind of your player archetype, how did you structure your highlight video so it was kind of catered to your strengths?
Yeah, so I definitely put the strongest highlights that I had, the best clips that I had in the beginning. So I had it wasn't necessarily like you said, crossing was one of my best attributes, 1v1ing and taking guy down line and crossing it. I had that in there, but I also had, if I dribbled a couple guys and scored, that kind of took precedent over. And so I put that first. But yeah, definitely structuring your highlight video around your strengths is something that's very important. But if you have something that's like, oh, wow, and it's like eye catching, I'd put that before it, which I did. And I kind of went down from there. I kind of, after a couple, 3 cross highlights, I'd have highlights of positional or something that was also important. For highlight video, there needs to be a new one every year. Like, you can't keep the same one. I made one my U16 year, and obviously I can't use that now or a couple months ago. Like, it needs to be updated, I'd say once a year. Like, fully make a new one, make it most recent clips. Like, coaches don't want to see what you did 2 years ago. They want to see what you're doing now.
What would you say is a misconception about the recruiting process?
I'd say that colleges are going to reach out to you. That they're, oh, if I play good at this game, I'll have colleges calling me, and that is not the case. It doesn't matter what team you play for, how good you are. If you're not networking and doing work on the computer, looking up coaches, their emails, reaching out to as many as you can, like, you're not going to catch any traction. Like, the idea that I'm just going to go to a bunch of showcases and hope coaches see me, like, is never going to work.
You would say you put in a substantial amount of effort into your outreach to coaches?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was every single college that would, reach out to me, I had an email formed out that I would, alternate based on the program. I did some research on how they did in the season. I include that in my email, my highlight video number. They text me, and after a couple hundred emails, I'd get, 20 or 30 or 40 back. And then it whittled down into even narrower. And as it got narrower, the higher the interest got.
Yeah, really good. That's again a point of emphasis is it's a numbers game. You have to you're not going to get a response every email. That's just how it works. You have to just keep going and going and going and going. And if you play the numbers game for long enough, then you will start getting responses and you will start getting opportunities. How long did the back and forth with Clemson in particular go?
Didn't happen for long. 2 months ago, I wasn't talking with Clemson at all. So it kind of came out of nowhere. If I could pick any university in the nation to go to, it would have been Clemson. I got gutty. I was emailing them. It wasn't working. And then I met one of their alums at a field, and I told him kind of what was going on. And he was like, you got to hear from him. And so he put me on one of the coaches, and then it skyrocketed from there.
Yeah, I mean the emphasis on network. So you hear a lot about it in business, but clearly it's just as important in soccer. You got to sell yourself and you got to market yourself. Did you attend any ID camps from any schools? So did you get offers from the ID camps you attended? Or did you attend any ID camps where they're just kind of general, where there's multiple coaches instead of school specific? How was your experience with ID camps?
Yeah, so I'd say my dad had a big part in teaching me like ID camps, what they were. As I, got farther along into recruiting, I kind of began to understand myself. ID camps, unless you're getting, you have the coach's number and you're texting with him and he wants to see you play in person, it's just a money grab for the school. That's all it is. You're emailing them and they're ghosting you and you think, oh, I'm going to go to an ID camp and maybe they'll see me there. It's not going to happen. Like, unless you're speaking with somebody and they say, come to the ID camp, we want to watch you play, opposed to coming to see you play with your team, like that as an alternative, like that's the only valid reason I'd say to go to any of them. But in my experience, I went to only two. I went to Clemson's about 3 weeks ago because things started to pick up, and between me and the coaches, we decided that that'd be a good idea for me to go there, that they wanted to see me play, and I didn't want to wait till the season started. So that was the only reason I went. And then I also went to one last year that was more of, I began to speak with the coaches and it was kind of kicking off, and I just also wanted to stay fit over the summer. So I ended up going to that, but that fizzled out, and that happens. They see you play. But yeah, I've only ever been to two.
Unless a coach is like texting you to come to a school specific ID camp, don't go. Don't go. In my opinion, it's a waste of time and money. If you're talking to a 15 or 16-year-old that's kind of either a freshman, sophomore in high school, what advice would you give them to grant them the best chance to get recruited to play college soccer?
I'd say the first thing is to get to work. Whether it's high school, club practice, and then that's the only time you train, you're only going to be as good as everyone else because you're only training the same amount as everyone else. So the first thing is get to work outside of your club, your school, whatever you're doing. And that confidence will follow up with that. You'll begin to see results, not quick, but confidence grows from outworking people. And so over time, confidence will develop, and you'll get better, and you'll realize, hey, I can do it. After that, like, establish the level you're going for, whether it be D2, D1. Look up on YouTube what other people are doing or what their journey was, and kind of compare. All right, where am I at? A couple months early, I'd say start to get emails out, start forming your highlight videos, show that you're interested, show that you're genuinely, hey, like, I want to come here, and not just I'll settle for this school. Coaches want people that are actually like married to their program, that want to be there and want to represent their school. So definitely showing up, getting on their radar early is something they appreciate a lot, and it's also good for you.
Kind of recurring emphasis on starting early, because yes, the NCAA has rules, but there is no rule that exists that if a coach happens to see your email and happens to watch your highlight video, that, you know, they can't write your name down on a Google Doc or put a note in their calendar, or, you know, even jot your name down on a piece of paper to contact you when they are allowed to. And that does happen. So it's important you get emails out early, but you don't get discouraged after no response. These coaches are getting hundreds and hundreds of emails. Just quick anecdotal story. My summer league coach coached a JUCO, and they won the national championship, I think either last year or the year before, Prairie State University in Illinois. And he was showing me his email just at lunch, and he's scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and they just keep popping up. So the important thing is you don't get discouraged after a no response, because it is a numbers game at the end of the day, and eventually you will hit on one. Now, if you send 200 300 emails and you're not getting any responses, then I think it's time to reassess your level. At that point, it's not an exposure thing. It's more of am I reaching out to the right level? And like Seabrook said, go on YouTube, type in your position, type in freshman year, junior year, sophomore year highlights for like a D1 midfielder, a D2 left back, whatever position you play, and be very, very honest with yourself. Am I better than this player, or can I compete with this player? Like, does my game film and highlights match his? And if the answer is no, go horizontal, reach out to more levels instead of continuing to send emails to the same level. Was there ever any doubt in your mind that you would play Division I soccer?
Yes, there was. I had been with my team for 5 years up until like this is my 6th year now, and it got exhausting. I was like, am I even going to make this happen? Like, I still have a year and a half of this, and I was debating, like, do I even keep going? Like, it's the world of recruiting is so murky. It was like that nothing's for sure. So I was definitely at a low about a year and a half ago, and just like writing down like on a piece, pencil and paper, like, can I do this? What am I doing to make this happen? And do I want it enough? And I sat myself down. I was like, that's where I want to be. And so, even though it's exhausting after 5 years of doing it, and there's no guarantee, like, pushing through is what was worth it. And like, lows happen. Like, everyone's story is different. So if you have you have going on, like, you can always fix it by writing down what's happening and how you can fix it. And most of the time, it's a matter of research or just getting to work.
If you can identify the problem, you're already 50% of the way there. That's just how football, soccer is. You know, you hit walls, you hit roadblocks, whatever you want to call it, but it's about the action you take during that time that will ultimately shape your career. When things are going well, I mean, you're feeling good, you're playing good, you know, you have the world in the palm of your hand, but your qualities as a player are truly determined when you hit those walls, because, you know, nobody is up here at Euphoria for their entire career. It's highs and lows and highs and lows, but the idea is we want those highs and lows to be on an upward slope. And as Seabrook mentioned, when you hit a wall, write down, what is causing me to hit this wall? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling doubt? And if you can identify the exact reason why, you're already halfway there to solving the problem.
The world of recruiting, and in my experience and in the research I've done, and I could comfortably say in majority of people's experiences, it is a very murky world. The rules, it's constantly changing. You know, you could be, all right, I'm going to get locked in with this school, and then they find a kid from Sweden, and then, oh, he'll come. Like, it's not perfect at all. Like, getting even getting to play college soccer D3, D2 is very hard to do nowadays. It's very hard, especially coming out of high school, coming out of a club, and because they can grab anyone they want. The rules are very, very murky. So I'd say that.
Thank you, Seabrook, for your time.
course, man.
Hope to see you soon. Can't wait to watch you on the big screen. Up the mutiny, baby. Let's go.
Yes, sir.